Men are like amazing.
So what do you think? Still some section of society believes a woman is a woman's worst enemy?
A woman used to be a woman's worst enemy. Really building up my confidence from scratch. That 16-year-old Shruti who really suffered from those self-image issues.
Yeah. When we talk about women empowerment, feminism,
female jealousy is a really, really bad thing, which I have faced as being, someone's friend or in life. But here in India, I just feel people feel it's going out of the way.
Hello everybody, welcome back to TVT. Women often face moments of self-doubt and underconfidence. And today, to overcome these challenges, we have on our platform a remarkable guest who is here to share her insights based on real life experiences. So let us welcome Shruti Malik. Hello ma'am.
Hi.
So ma'am, if we talk about your journey, if you look back in time, what were the things that you dreamt as a young woman and what is still left for you to explore right now? If I ask you about your journey, tell me about that.
So right now I'm 26, just for a disclaimer. And if I take you some 10 years back when I was 16, fresh out of school, just in my 12th grade, the journey was pretty turbulent, I would say, at that time. When you grow up, you face a lot of body image issues, self-doubt, how you're looking, how to society is perceiving you. You're pretty young. You're not that mature enough to sink the fact that it doesn't even matter and you just need to hustle. So that time, the first setback which came in my life was when I suffered from borderline PCOD, which was during the 11th-12th standard, when I felt little insecure of how I look and people started making comments. Society really wants to always shrink you down.
Yeah.
So that was the first, I would say, emotional and mental turmoil which I faced as a teenager. But growing up, maybe 2 years down the line, I realized that maybe I want to change the narrative of my own health, and that's when I started working out. Took me 3 years to build from something which I didn't want to something I wanted. So that was the first little journey towards being a positive rebel, being relentless in my life. Then if I talk of 5 years down the line, what has been going on and what really changed, I did my undergrad, just fresh out of undergrad. Again, I was feeling, what should I do now? These are the career options I have. I have marketing, I can do sales, I can go into leadership roles. What should I do? So I just was in a phase that time where I'm doing that A/B testing part, like fine, I just got an offer from Amazon, my family is happy, let me just get into this job. Little did I know that would be something really life-changing for me. 2020 was the year when all of us faced something which we didn't want to, COVID. So it was COVID, it was my third year, my farewell couldn't happen. One day suddenly the college group comes up and say, now there's not going to be any college online and the exams are going to take place 6 months down the line and everything is shut down. So everybody's life, just not mine, changed from really happening to a dull moment.
Yeah.
Staying at home, maybe cooking every day to keep yourself excited. And that's when the second part, which I would say a real life-changing journey, when you become a woman from a girl, when you start sinking in the fact that fine, now life is changing, responsibilities are hitting, things are not as same as it used to be and simpler as used to be when you were in your college times. That's when I lost my grandparents in 2020, not due to COVID, but because we couldn't provide them the right aid, because it was scarce. No one was even picking up the call.
Yeah.
And definitely I never experienced something like that. I mean, in school, we're taught everything, but no one teaches us how to grieve, how to accept someone you've lost. So that's when I wanted to write and vent it out to the society, to the people who were also losing their closed one. And I wrote my first thing. I mean, I've been into writing since a very long time, but never publish something out there publicly, vulnerable. So I was at my most vulnerable self, and that's when I would say the creative chaos in me took birth. And I wrote my first poetry novel known as Relentless Love, which is a note to my grandparents. That's the second shift after that one I suffered back. I was 16. So this time I was 21, totally changed. Didn't know how to grieve someone's loss. And that's what taught me that life doesn't really stop. You need to pack memories in a suitcase and just move with it. And then life just kept on unfolding, which we will know in the further questions. So these are the two moments which I feel were really life-changing for me.
So if I talk about in general a woman's life, there are different phases.
Yeah.
And one phase I think you can explain the best is the one we were talking about right now, after graduation and
Yeah.
post the marriage phase, pre-marriage phase. Sorry. So there are a lot of things a woman has to go through. She hasn't fully entered into womanhood, but responsibilities, a will to prove herself. So how should that particular section of women keep moving ahead?
So I feel womanhood in itself is something, it's a blessing to be cherished. You go through so many phases, just as a baby to being your mom's only favorite child. Oh, my mom is going to do everything, to being a mother to your parents after a while. So the narrative is changing, I would say, every year. I mean, there's a saying ki ladkiyan bahut jaldi badi hoti hain. So when I was at that part where I just did my college, like I told you, navigation is something you do not always get from people around. And being a single child, not having a mentor who was into the field I wanted to dive in, was just feeling a little helpless that time, but also empowered in a way that, fine, this is the shit I'm going to figure out at my own. So my dad has been into business. I didn't have anyone from the background which I wanted to STEM in. I was a science student who took commerce course and wanted to do something absolutely different. So there was a myth that time ki sales mein koi career nahi hota hai, and you really can't do anything out of it. That's when I was running from it. That fine, I don't want to do it. But then suddenly, jis cheez se aap bhagte ho, that really comes to you. So that's when my interest in sales as a career grew a lot. I already published a book, so writing became the main venting partner for me. From doing debates or writing magazines in school to doing something creatively like poetry was again a new thing which I discovered as a woman that time. Listening a lot from society, people keep commenting ki job ke saath, why are you doing all of this now since you are doing your job? Get married. Once you are 20, 21, it's like, chalo, ab shaadi karo. But luckily, I've had supportive parents who never really forced me for anything in life. They really supported me. So, wo 5 years ki journey from Amazon to doors of Zomato to going from restaurant partner to restaurant partner, growing that business, to entering in a tech sales world like Adobe and now Cvent, right, has been really challenging. Why? Because people question your credibility being a woman. So, getting from a really, really, I would say, scratch level of work to growing in a very strategic role, first has been a life-changing experience. Definitely, it's a, I would say, nutshell, a sweet slap to society that you really can't stop anyone from doing what they want to, even if, I mean, age is just a number, doesn't matter. Be it a pre-marriage, a post-marriage phase, if you have supportive people and the will to do things. Why I say supportive people? Because if you have negative ball of energies around you, it somewhat demotivate you.
Absolutely.
But if you have people who really motivate you to keep on fluttering high in life, you really want to do more, better. So luckily, like I said, I've had those people. So from that journey to coming on a stage, like I've delivered 2 TED Talks, to doing public speaking, was really building up my confidence from scratch. That 16-year-old Shruti who really suffered from those self-image issues, to really just shackling the society with, now she's on the stage speaking. Now watch me do that. So that was just a narrative I wanted to change for myself. And people say that, fine, why don't you just procure it as a main career? I feel some things are passion. You do it for the sake of your own heart, the will of changing something in society. So I would say public speaking really helped me to regain that confidence which I lost maybe 10 years down the line when I suffered a lot emotionally and physically, mentally. We have phases. We are happy, we are sad, we are sometimes not at all happy, sometimes we are extremely happy. So that is just being a human. You are changing. So accept those phases as well, because definitely if that phase wouldn't happen, it would not let me where I am today. So everything in my life, be it sales, be it public speaking, coming to my community work, which started some 3 to 4 years back, just after my grandparents' death. And today I run a community known as Gitanjali Welfare, which we'll talk of further in detail. But yes, community work taught me that doing things for yourself is good, but when you do it for others, you make a change, you make impact. So this is what I feel after my college happened, where I tried navigating different roles, industries, work, where you test yourself, what you want to do. And then I realized I really want to do a lot of things. So what I would really, give people as a message, do not stop. Do whatever you love. Do not care about what people think, because once we start thinking, because we all have that overthinking phase, like what log kya sochenge agar main aise karunga. if I do not get married by 25, my life will end. A lot of girls think that way also, because no matter how much society has evolved, a girl is still labeled young, beautiful, small age, might get a guy feeling.
Absolutely.
So really didn't care about that. Got married at the age of 26, just 3 months back. So really can't talk of pre-marriage phase. But at the same time, I have the most supportive husband. I have a very supportive in-law family. So touchwood, by God's grace, I've been surrounded with such people. So for me, nothing really changed drastically. But yes, leaving your home is a thing which is a post-marriage effect. But I feel, be it marriage, be it a childbirth, being a mother after that, or whatever changes keep happening, keep your goals stable. All these things are just changes in life. Your goal and what you want to do just should be ever evolving in nature. You should keep becoming the better version of yourself. It's not like कि शादी हो गई तो job छोड़ दो, शादी हो गई, बच्चे हो गए तो just do not do 2-3 other things. Focus on nurturing it. But why? Do not. I have a life. Because I've seen women, maybe the last generation of our moms, who were extremely sacrificing.
Absolutely.
Who used to be like, now we have a child, why to do a job? Let's leave and dedicate our entire life to our child. So I really don't want to go down that line, because I have a life, I have my own individual personality, which I would want every woman to keep sacred and not lose it at any cost.
And now, like you mentioned, all the roles, there are very different hats you wear, being a social activist, public speaker, TEDx speaker, author, poet, and even at corporate. So what has been the one toughest role for you, and how do you manage it?
I feel it's all in your mind. It's when you make it tough, when you embrace it with something like, I'm enjoying it, and I'm that person. I enjoy the hustle that heals me. If I can be giving a mentoring session at 3 p.m., I can start my job at 7 p.m. in the evening, because I work in an East Coast shift. So I try balancing it in a way that I'm getting some 6 to 7 hours of sleep, which I have to sacrifice on sometimes. That's the toughest part.
Yeah.
But I try to wake up, hit my target, my fitness target, go do my training, run, come back, have my meals, take my proteins. That is something important and keeps you going. And then do my community work, have my community meetings, then go to different colleges for sessions, and then do my corporate work. Sometimes this can be overwhelming, where you just want to take a seat back, and I do that. If I do not want to do anything, I'll just take an off and I'll do nothing. Right? Because in life, you can't just be, it's not linear. You can't just be moving at the same speed. So even though you wear multiple hats, make sure all those hats are something which you love wearing again and again. It's not like one day I want to do a session and tomorrow I'm like, let me start with modeling.
Yeah.
That's just not being consistent and at the right place. That's just being fluff. Kuch bhi kar lo. Do what you're good at, and how you will know you're good at once you do it.
Yeah.
So that first step, when you take no, and when you love doing things, all the women, including you, we're all multitaskers. Be your mom. She's a mom, she's working, she's doing this, that, 10 hands at once.
Definitely.
I mean, the way my mom works, she is a, homemaker now. She used to be a teacher, and I've seen, dude, her hands are everywhere. And still she's so empowering and so powerful. So I feel women, God has given some special powers to us that we can really unwind and juggle between different roles. So for me, I feel not giving up and being unstoppable really helps you to navigate different roles in life, and not just be, I'm just working in an office right now and now I can't do anything else. So I really want to break that barrier in society. Even though you're doing a corporate, you can have your own business. Even if you're having your own business, you can still have a child and take care of that. So it's not like one thing can stop the birth of another. And now I really want to get into teaching full time. Maybe I was thinking that day, and I was thinking, what exams? And I was like, no, I should slow down and first maybe navigate what I'm doing right now. So not to hurry, be consistent. Things take time. It's not an overnight thing. You never are born with something like consistency, hard work. You're a baby, you just came to this world, you're a human, and then you pay your way to life. Just make sure it's worth living for you.
So if I talk about, you have been in corporate, or in general, corporate life of a woman, it's very different from that of a man. There are certain situations, hardship, discrimination. So what are the certain things women need to unlearn in that field to prove themselves better and to focus on their work, apart from these noises from the outside?
See, I feel you answered my question just right. Why, I'll tell you. When you say something like prove yourself, first of all, we don't have to prove ourselves to anyone. But what I have faced in corporate, my personal journey, when men do something, they're called driven. When
Yeah.
women do something, they are overambitious, too much. I don't think so. She's right. She's a female driver. She doesn't know how to drive. These are certain comments which we hear out on a daily basis.
Yeah.
She's a female manager. Isko kya pata hoga? I have seen all of that happening around me. So what I think and what I've learned is, see, I have changed a lot of jobs in the last 5 years, from Amazon, Adobe, all these different organizations around me. And people were like, why do you keep changing jobs that early? Where I do not feel respected, heard, or even if the work quality is great, but I do not feel my thoughts are equally acknowledged, and I feel there's a male-female disbalance
Gender
ratio,
bias.
right, which is there. I won't name the organization, but there is. That is something
Yeah.
I've personally and professionally faced. So I only left those jobs not because I wasn't strong enough to face the office politics or whatsoever happens, which is something we all face. But just to see that I am not settling for something which is unsettling in my head. My mental health is my priority. Yes, in the start, you do not know. You overshare with someone, and then that someone might just dig your grave at office, right?
Absolutely.
That keeps happening. So with that, little Shruti, who just entered the corporate field like a baby. That time I was a baby. I was a noob, I would say. I didn't know who to share what with. I was just like, everyone is good, be friends with all. But then later you realize there are a few good people you can trust, and there are a few people who you really need to just have a distance with.
Yeah.
So that is something, I feel credibility is something women really need to fight for. But now things have changed. I currently work, the current organization I'm working at, I feel more female leaders, which I really love. Because women, there's a song by Beyonce, Diva is the female version of a hustler. So I feel 80% of the leaders in my office are now females, and a lot of offices which I keep seeing around, which is something which has not changed, I would say, in a year or two. In the last 5-6 years, this thing has really evolved.
Yeah.
Where female leaders are more common than a male leader. They are more driven. People are trusting them more. So I feel now it has changed, but what I have faced earlier is definitely, you are a woman, that's why you got the job. You are a woman, tumhe karna hi kya hota hai? Tum ladkiyan ho. So that narrative is something which we as a women need to fight for. I've been very strong and precise. I've raised such issues. I've replied back people really strong that, hey, I'm a woman, but I have talent. Like this is not why I'm doing it, and I have 10 other things at home. So I've seen women with 2 kids working day and night at an office. Like, how can you question their credibility? So you have to be your own, I would say, king and queen that time, and just slap back society that no.
Yeah.
But do not prove yourself, because you are there is a testament to your hard work and your credibility. Women only require security and acknowledgement, be it at office, at work, or relationship. When you understand someone, be it men or women, anyone, this is a normal human nature. They feel acknowledged, happy, and driven to work. So I feel at corporates, what more can change is maybe women being more heard and acknowledged than they are right now, which by God's grace has really evolved. So I'm happy about that.
If I talk about, like you were talking, a phase has shifted the perspective. There was a phase earlier used that women is the woman's worst enemy.
Yeah.
But in recent times, we have seen women uplifting other women. Words like feminism and women empowerment are not just limited to these terms. They are much more practical now. So what do you think? Still, some section of society believes a woman is a woman's worst enemy?
Well, there have been cases, right? If you talk of olden times, traditional times, a woman used to be a woman's worst enemy. You know, in a single household, oh, her mother-in-law is really troubling. Oh, her sister-in-law would abuse her. We have seen that happening. Oh, that girl betrayed that girl. Ladko ki dosti mein, you've never seen that happening mostly. It's like females having that fight and then just doing that weird activities here and there. So I still see that in prevalent times. I would say I've faced it myself, where female jealousy is a really, really bad thing, which I have faced as being, someone's friend or in life in general. But now I feel people have started uplifting each other when it comes to being a girls. I'm that. I mean, I love women in general, how they are made, how beautiful each woman is. It's literally, you see a woman like, wow, she's so beautiful. I never get that from men. All respect to them. But when you see a woman, it's like, wow, she's so beautiful. Because every woman looks different, different hair, different eyes, different nose, different lips. Everything is just different about humans. So every creature around me I see is really beautiful. And especially women, I'm really blessed that I'm a woman. That way I would not do anything to change myself to anything else. So for me, I feel sisterhood in self is uplifting a community altogether. When we as a women will understand other women, definitely society will have more unity.
Yeah.
When maybe I as a woman, I tell you one day, hey, this is not something you're doing right, and I'm gonna, downstream you that what are you doing? Don't do that. Come on, sit there. Do not do that. So, such negative words or just not uplifting someone to do better in life is just not humanly enough. And just not uplifting women. When people talk of feminism, sometimes they confuse it with something like, hey, you're a feminist, you love women.
Yeah.
Being a feminist means respecting men and women equally. So when we all together uplift each other, only then we care or create a society which is worth living for. So I feel it's just not for women. Things have really changed. People have started uplifting. There's a lot scope of improvement. Sometimes I still see prevailing in my life that female jealousy, people just saying bad things at each other's back, or not being welcoming enough to someone new at your house. Like, fine, she just got married and she's facing issues from for the family, people commenting on what she is wearing, what she's doing, controlling her life. These are a few things which should just not exist in society as general. We should be human first and then have general rules after that. So first I'm a human and then I'm a woman, right? A man would be like, first he's a man and then he would have different rules. So this is a general thing, just not women. People should uplift each other in order to create a society which is at a better living state.
So this was the woman's perspective. When we talk about women empowerment, feminism, a lot of people have understood the meaning, but there are very less, I would say, individuals that guide men on how to understand women better or how to help them uplift themselves. Like, we don't need help actually, but we need a support system to rely on.
True.
So how would you guide men to understand women better?
So men are like amazing. They really help women in their day-to-day course. I've seen my dad doing that. I see my husband doing that. Caring for their wives, their daughters, their sisters, even if be like picking and dropping from a gym. It shows like they care, they're there, they're like the backbones of family. If one day I have to sit back, I know my father and my husband would be there to provide me. But that's not the case in all the family. There are regions in India, globally if I talk of, who are not really digitally versed, educated, or do not treat women as equal. I definitely won't name, but a lot of turmoil just happened where, women have to dress up in a certain way. She has to cook, or she has to take that ghungat and sit, and she can't really be where men are sitting. She can't visit a temple because she's on her periods. Why create such boundaries for women? I mean, this is a message which I would want to say for society and men who are listening to this podcast. Start acknowledging your wives, daughters, sisters, like whosoever is around you, be it your friend, be it females in society. Acknowledge, make them feel heard, understand them, and give them the freedom to do who they are. Do not control. Any human just hates being controlled. Like, if I tell you, Kushika, right now, these are the questions, just ask me this and nothing else. You wouldn't have the freedom to just maybe have a conversation with me or any other who comes here to talk to you. But when I have the creative freedom of speaking whatever I am right now to you. That's why we are having this conversation. Same happens, the same formula we apply in life. When someone will ask me like, this is your day, you wake up, you do this, you sleep, you do not do any third thing. I would be like, why am I living? This is not the life I want, right? So when you give women creative freedom to do and be who they are, then you create goddesses out of them, right? They literally will love you and will do everything for you, because a woman is a born mother, I feel. She has a lot of motherly instinct. I have my dog, okay? And I would just treat my Shih Tzu like he's a baby. And I've seen not me, but a lot of people now doing that. Fine, they would just buy things, soft toys, and treat them like their own kid. And girls doing that a lot. So I feel females are born with motherly instincts. So if you really love her 1%, she would give that 100% back to you. So the only message to society and men in general is make females around you feel heard, understand them well, and do not control them. Give them the creative freedom to be who they are so that they can flourish in life and just be unstoppable. You see women in sky, astronauts, doctors, lecturers. We are unstoppable. Men, or let's say in general, society couldn't stop us. They are in some, I said, regions who really need that audacity to grow more. And for such people, maybe we can do workshops,
Yeah.
right? Initiatives we can bridge the gap and bring those women out, give them normal life how we are leading, of education, of being something, and not just being jackled or shackled in the boundaries of their own household.
When we talk about growing as a community,
Yeah.
you have a foundation of yourselves, Gitanjali, which is named on your mother,
Yeah.
Gitanjali Foundation. So tell us something about that.
So it's Gitanjali Welfare Community, GWC, founded back in the year 2023. Journey didn't start in 2023. It started somewhere in 2020 when I visited one of the foundations here in Gurgaon itself, named Lord Savior. So when I visited there, I saw a lot of people just abandoned by their family, right? And the journey began even before that. And why my mom came into play, I see my mom doing a lot of unsaid social work, just giving it to people normally on a Saturday, like going on a run, distributing clothes, new clothes, food, doing bhandaras, just to keep the society afloat, just to feel that not that I'm kind to my family, but I'm giving it back to society. So I've been seeing that since childhood, feeding the dogs on the road, taking care of animals around you, being just generally kind to people doesn't take a lot from you. And we as people, we are so, I would say, cruel to the society that we think social work karna ek resume mein dalne ke liye, just so that definitely people do that, students do that, youths do that. But I feel social work in India is still a taboo. People feel it is going out of the way, and they tell me, oh wow, Shruti, you're doing like a great work. I'm like, I'm not doing anything. I'm just doing something I'm supposed to do. The best thing, when I just currently visited New Zealand and Australia, I saw people in general do like weekly drives there. Like their society in social work is very common. But here in India, I just feel people feel it's going out of the way. It's really not going out of the way. So Gitanjali Welfare Community focuses on making social welfare as a day-to-day habit, lifestyle, not something which you're doing out of the way or you have to do out of the way. So started back in 2023, it is an initiative to nurture young individuals to participate in different societal workshops, which happen on menstrual drive, feeding the poor, uneducated people, right? Maybe you're going to different slum areas, educating them, or going to different government schools, doing those workshops, which maybe an international school standard people can't provide. So we are not like 24/7 providers, but we try to help them psychologically, mentally, and emotionally, make them happy. That one hug or that one workshop can maybe make them smile on their face. So what we are doing is not I would say what a lot of communities are doing currently in Delhi. Right now, we have just started with a new project, which I really want to talk about. It's called Project Goma. Now, Goma is one individual who works at my place, who comes at night, who takes care of my dadi. So she is really good with those crochet flowers which are going on these days, embroidery and velvety different flowers which she knits and create petals and knots from. So we just started this initiative to help grow small business owners who do not have the resources to grow. We are providing her the light, the expansion, both digitally and in an offline manner to grow her business. Like Goma, there are a lot of Gomas around us who need that light. A lot of women are talented, sitting at their homes and just supplying. They're just faceless. People do not know, like, this is the work she's doing. In Rajasthan, I just visited and I bought some really good handicraft pieces from there. And there, that bhaiya told me from this shop that, Madam, ye aurtein aati hain yahan pe dopahr ko to stitch these bags for 4 hours and we pay them. And beautifully work created. And it's mesmerizing to see within 20 minutes, they could create like an entire bag, right? So, you see that creativity. That woman can have her own business, but why she can't have? Because she's not rightly educated. She doesn't know how to get a GST number, become a seller, right? Or she doesn't know how to create an Instagram page, post those reels, and grow her business from social media. So Project Goma focuses on bridging that gap between those women and society and helping their businesses grow. So in Gitanjali, we do keep doing such projects to help people around and definitely to train the youth right now, because the youth is the real change in India, right, in the future. We have trained almost 300 people now. We are always hiring. So if somebody ever wants to make a change in society, they can always drop us an email. And we run on an Instagram page called Gitanjali Welfare Community. And we keep doing certain workshops. So that's about it.
That's actually a great initiative. So, ma'am, you have also written a book, Relentless Love. So, would you like to tell us something about that and a poem from that only?
For sure. That's the closest project to my heart, I would say. So, Relentless Love was written back in 2020, published in 2021 on my Nani's death anniversary. It's a book, it's an elegiac code. I have it with me right now. These are my grandparents. That's my Nana Nani. And this is a real time image. Tried to create it in some
Illustration.
yep, graphic format, and that's the real time image where my grandfather is giving a flower to my grandmom. And this is a testament to love for me, what love feels like, how my Nana ji loved my Nani, both vice versa, is really a love story worth living for. Why Relentless Love? Because both of them died together within the gap of 3 days, which is something unusual, not due to some ailing, but because they couldn't just be without each other. So when my Nani passed away, my Nanu couldn't just survive. So stemming from the roots of Pakistan, 1947 war, coming to India, getting married here, starting their own lives from scratch. If just we couldn't have this in podcast, but my grandfather is my biggest inspiration. My mom, my grandfather, and my Nani, these three people have been the key motivators in my life and helped me being who I am. So Relentless Love is a testament to that. It's an elegiac quote. It's an ode to people who died and how a 21-year-old girl accepted that. And I would just want to quickly read a poem which is really very close to my heart and resonates with what I feel currently. So it's named Quietus. It goes like, wouldn't it be better to paint a picture or write a letter? Ponder the difference between want and need, but there's not much time. With rivers to swim and mountains to climb, music to hear and books to read, friends to cherish and life to lead. But the world's out there with the sun in your eyes, wind in your hair, a flutter of snow, a shower of rain. This day will not come around again. But bear in mind, old age will come and it's not kind. And when you go, and go you must, you yourself will make more dust. So the poem in itself means make a life, create a life worth, remembering. You should not just leave like that. Create footprints, keep hustling, and be unstoppable.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving us your time. I'm sure it would inspire a lot of young women out there.